Hi there, welcome back to the Art of Business English podcast. A little bit of an informal lesson here for you today, but today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 high impact phrasal verbs that you can use in business. Now, if you've ever sat in on a business meeting and felt lost when your native colleagues start throwing around phrasal verbs, don't worry, you're not alone. Because these multi-word verbs, they can be pretty tricky to learn and use. But mastering them is essential for effective communication in the world of business. So, in this blog or podcast, or whatever you want to call it, video, however you're receiving my material, we're going to explore 10 high impact phrasal verbs that are commonly used in business. Now, these verbs, as you may know, are very powerful and versatile. And that can make your communication sound much more natural and confident. So, they're really important. So get ready to beef up, there's a phrasal verb, beef up your business vocabulary and impress your colleagues with these 10 essential phrasal verbs. Okay, the first one on my list is cut back. So cut back is to reduce expenses or spending. Now, an example of this would be the company had to cut back on their marketing budget due to the economic downturn. Now, a downturn is a decrease in economic activity. Next one on my list is to take over. Now, you can take over something, which means you assume control or responsibility for a business or a project, etc. So, an example here would be the company decided to take over the struggling startup to expand their market share. So struggling means they're having difficulty. A startup is, a small company that's starting out from zero, usually in the technology sector. And your market share is how much of that market you control. All right, let's look at a third one, which is bring in. Now, if you want to bring in someone, it usually means to introduce or invite someone or something new into a situation or a company. For example, you could say the CEO decided to bring in a new marketing team to revamp the company's advertising strategy. Revamp means to improve, give it a facelift, make it new and better, to build on and improve the last one. All right, next one is to phase out. Now, to phase out is to gradually remove or discontinue a product, service, or process. So, for example, you could say the company decided to phase out their old software in favor of a newer, more efficient system. All right, another one, push through. Now, to push through means to overcome obstacles or challenges to achieve a goal. For example, the team had to push through a tight deadline to complete the project on time. Now, to push through a tight deadline means, that you have to complete something in a short period of time. Let's look at another one here on my list, which is set up. Now, to set up means to establish or organize a business or operation. For example, you could say the entrepreneur decided to set up a new startup in the technology industry. As we mentioned before, startups are typically in tech. Let's look at another one on my list, which is to take up. Now, to take up means to start doing or pursuing something new, often as a hobby or a career. So an example would be the employee decided to take up coding as a new skill to improve their job prospects. Now, coding is computer coding, when you create things through lines of code. Let's look at the next one, which is bring about. So bring about. This means to cause or create or make change happen or create an outcome or result. So an example here would be the new CEO's leadership brought about a positive shift in company culture. So this means that the new CEO, their leadership style created a positive change to the company culture. Let's look at the next one. Carry out. So to carry out means to complete or execute a task or project. For example, the team had to carry out a market research survey to gather data on consumer preferences. Now, a survey is where you ask people questions, like a marketing survey, so that you can collect data. So normally a survey is short, 5 minutes long. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is to write off, and that's OFF. So to write off means to cancel or dismiss something as a loss or failure. Now, an example of this would be the company had to write off the failed product launch as a loss and focus on improving their next release. So it was a disaster, so we had to basically just put that down to a 0. That's it, my friends. Now that you have 10 powerful phrasal verbs for your next meeting or your next business interaction, you can add them to your business vocabulary and enhance your communication skills. So don't worry if you don't get them right every time, because mastering phrasal verbs, it takes practice and patience. Okay, so just remember, with these 10 verbs in your toolkit, you will be well on the way to sounding much more confident and native in your business communication. Okay, so give them a try. Try and use one or two of them in your next meeting or presentation and see how they can help you to convey your message or improve what you're trying to say and make it sound like you're speaking top level business English. You might be surprised at how much of a difference they can make. Well, there you have it, my friends. That's it for another episode of the Art of Business English podcast. I hope you enjoyed these 10 high impact phrasal verbs that can help you communicate more effectively in your work or work environment. And remember, if you are interested in my channel, you can access me in various places. I'm on many podcasting platforms. So, you've got Apple Podcasts, Spotify are the main ones. You've got Stitcher, etc., Google Podcasts. I'm everywhere. You can also check out the videos of my podcasts over at my YouTube channel, The Art of Business English on YouTube. Or you can read up and have a look at the vocabulary and all of the text over at the artofbusinessenglish.com website. And if you do like me, why not subscribe and follow me and get updated on all of the new content that I release more or less every week. Okay, people, that's it from me. Hope you're well. Take care. See you all. Bye for now.